Libra placements. Let's find out what's going on for you guys. What is it that you need to know and hear at this time? The Eight of Cups with the King of Wands. If I can, what? Gosh, having difficulty getting the card off the deck there. It's like it was stuck. It didn't want to move. Okay, so maybe you felt stuck. Okay, to do with your career, to do with your business, right? You may have felt like the path hasn't been very clear for you. You're not necessarily sure what to do next or how to go about things. I'm kidding. Okay, interesting. I just heard creatively constipated. I know that sounds so random, but maybe you just felt like completely blocked up here. Not obviously literally, but what I mean is that you felt like you've not been able to tap in to your creative gifts, talents, and abilities as easily as you may have done beforehand. Or maybe you've just felt like you've lost some sort of motivation or drive or inspiration. Maybe you've not been feeling very well. Maybe there's a lot on your mind. Maybe you just don't feel like you're able to follow through on certain things the same way as you did before, and so therefore it just feels wrong to carry on in that particular trajectory on that path with what it is that you have been doing up until late, right? It may have felt comfortable, it may have felt familiar, it may have been right for you at one point, but now it just feels like not necessarily becoming bitter or resentful about it with whatever it is that you're doing, but I definitely feel like there's a sense of duty or obligation to whatever this is, or maybe it is part of your career or your business and you're getting paid for it, and it's like, or you were getting paid for it, but if you're still getting paid for it, it may not be as much as what you were once getting before. And so obviously that makes a massive impact, because then it's like, well, okay, what's the point? That is a real drive and a motivation. Obviously we want to do all of these things because we love to do them and we enjoy them, and there's that sense of passion. But when we start putting in so much to the point where we feel like we are just kind of on this deep dive of a plateau and hitting rock bottom, then it kind of feels a bit like, what's the point anymore? What's the point? So, and it's interesting because I feel like you still on some level are very connected to whatever this is, like, and you're proud of yourself to get to this point where you have got to, and for enduring lots of things that you've been dealing with. But then at the same time, it's like, what else is there? What else can I do about the situation? I feel like I'm kind of blinded here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what creative direction to kind of take of this. I don't know what new idea to kind of put out there, or I'm not sure with, you know, if I do of this, if it's going to work, or if I've done of this and I thought that it was going to work and then it flopped and it led to nothing. It led to a road of nowhere. And it's like, it can make you feel like you're running around in circles. So I do get that you may have been very tempted to take a step back from whatever you're dealing with, just so that you can see the bigger picture as to why you've been continuing on in a certain way, right? Maybe you feel like, well, this is the only thing that you know that you feel like you're good at, right? The only thing that you feel like you have knowledge or experience or skills in. And I'm hearing that's not necessarily true. Maybe this is just something you've always done, or you've done for a long time. And so therefore the idea of stepping into the unknown and experimenting and trying new things feels incredibly daunting, but you have to do of something, right? You have to change of something, and change is the only constant that we actually have, right? Nothing ever stays the same. We all grow, we all evolve, we all have to adapt to things and bring in new energy and release old energy. And so therefore you could be in this position and place of like, well, I am eager, I am keen to try new things, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to kind of potentially do, especially now, like with this new moon in Libra in your sign, right? If you are a Libra rising, then this is going to be affecting you guys in the sense of self, right? So the first house, as in, you know, your identity, your approach to life, your body, like, and amongst other things, right? So for the next 6 months until we have the full moon in Aries, right? In Aries season, as in next year, maybe March or April time of 2026, you're on this whole new journey, this new path of exploration and discovery, and you're not quite sure how things are going to be panning out for you up until, you know, the springtime. And I feel like you're wanting to challenge yourself and make these changes and do a little bit of trial and error, but there's something about yourself that you may feel that you, I'm hearing, I don't know why it sounds like it's something would feel like it's cringy. Okay. So maybe you're wanting to put yourself out there properly on social media for the first time, and it feels a bit weird. It feels strange. It feels alien. It's just a bit like, oh gosh, like, do I really have to do this? And it's like you want to kind of hide away in the shadows, but really you're being kind of thrust out into the spotlight, or your intuition is telling you to do of this. And so therefore this is really weird. I mean, that's just an example, right? But you are someone who's meant to be an entrepreneur. That's what I'm hearing, right? Self-employed, a business owner, entrepreneur, a freelancer, a consultant, somebody that works for themselves. So maybe you're thinking about, actually, I feel like it's the right time to start or launch a new business, or to turn a creative pursuit or a hobby into a way of making money or passive income. Or maybe I'm looking into, you know, extending of my particular business and branching out some way. So like a new business venture, or communicating with others to bring in new clients. Or maybe there's something on the lines of traveling for your career. You may want to do a whole career change. Like, there is probably so much that's in your head right now that's maybe getting you a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. Okay, so obviously with the messages, just take what you feel resonates and leave the rest. But yeah, with the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, I'm hearing, well, what if I'm rejected? What if I'm not liked? What if other people just completely like don't acknowledge as anything that I'm doing or putting out there? What happens if I'm not getting really any money for it whatsoever? What do I do then? Or maybe you've been experiencing, you know, a financial drought, as it were. Okay. And, you know, times have been tough. Times have been tough. You may have even left to go somewhere, right? Maybe abroad, doesn't have to be, for work, for a career opportunity. And this took a lot of courage and bravery in order to do this. And as you've been settling in, maybe you've felt, you know, dealt with some financial hardship, and it's been difficult to get yourself on your feet and all of that. And that particular transition was a lot, but you were following your heart and wanting to go after your dreams. That is resonating as well. Okay. Or this is something that you would like to do, right? You would like to venture out and travel, or maybe looking into visas or something like that. So you could relocate and then travel around in that particular country, I'm hearing, with that visa, right? Like a digital nomad. So therefore, you're not confined to the sense of bricks and mortar of a workplace, and you have the freedom and the flexibility to work when you want, where you want, how you want, and you're leaving an old life behind and transitioning into a new one. So I'm getting so many examples here, and take what resonates. But we have the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. I am getting a lot of emphasis here to do with the 10th house, okay, to do with, you know, your work. So there's something switching up or working out for you in regards to a new beginning that's very much aligned for you, but you feel relatively scared to go into this. But I'm hearing this is actually going to be really brilliant for you and close out an old chapter that you've been dealing with that has been weighing on you very heavily here.